Stow-Munroe Falls City School District Board of Education on Monday, September 22nd, 2025. Roll call, please.
East Jenkins,
Here.
Merlady,
Here.
Sheehan,
Here.
Sudonik,
Here.
Wynn,
Here. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everything we do is designed to provide a future-ready, student-centered learning experience for every single child. Our strategic plan for 2021 through 2026 will help us accomplish this goal by considering every facet of a student's learning experience, from curriculum to infrastructure to wellness and everything in between. As members of the Board of Education, we serve as trustees. Therefore, this is a business meeting being conducted in public, not a public meeting. We are grateful to serve an engaged community and therefore encourage and respect input from citizens. We expect that everyone present will behave in a manner consistent with the behavior we expect of our students. We reserve the right to have those who do not comply removed from our meeting. Okay. Next item of business is recognition. Dr. Gould.
Good evening, everyone. This evening, I would like to take the opportunity to begin recognizing our State of the Schools address. I want to sincerely thank the Chamber of Commerce for hosting this important event. It was an opportunity for us to share the vision for the next 5 years and also to introduce our strategic planning process, which will include interviews, surveys, and focus groups. And we invite our community to become fully engaged in shaping the future of Stow-Munroe Falls City Schools. I also want to highlight our outstanding homecoming activities from this past weekend. From the parade to the game and all the celebrations in between, it was truly a night to remember. Heartfelt thank you goes out to our student council advisors and students for the hard work that they put in creating such a successful event. As many of you know, we did experience a power outage at the stadium on Friday night. And I want to thank the families and the community for their cooperation with swiftly exiting the stadium. And I'm pleased to report that the issue has been resolved. I would also like to take this opportunity to recognize 2 of our student athletes who have recently been honored. Mateo Gordino, senior captain of the boys soccer team, and Ali Danis, a 10th grader. These 2 students have both been named Player of the Week. So congratulations to both of them. And tonight, I have also invited Coach Potter and several members of the football team to join us. I asked them here just to show that we have students who are excelling both on and off the field. Their good deeds and example of character that they've demonstrated, whether there be contributions to the beautification of our school, the teamwork on the field, including a special touchdown moment, and the pause decals that are on their helmets, symbolizing leadership and integrity. At this time, I would like to welcome Coach Potter and his players to share a few words and introduce themselves to the board and the community.
All right, thank you. My name is Coach Potter, Martin Potter with the high school football team. Sorry, we're looking a little ragged, but we just got off the practice field and got down here after a rain-soaked day. But with us are just some of our leadership council guys. Gideon Larlam, who's a sophomore, Clayton Aguado, who's another sophomore, Jack Miller, who's a junior, Caden Boyd is a junior, Andy Rickelman and Jay Carrington are both seniors. These guys pretty much comprise our leadership council. And then we had some of our Gavin Colbert Green, who is a rising freshman for us, and Evan Brabon. So a lot of these guys help participate in mulching the campus and stuff like that, and were able to come tonight. But just continue to thank the community, the administration for the support as we're trying to build the program the right way and building the guys to serve. Everything that we do is based off of being servant leaders for our community, and again, building it the right way and getting the culture to where it needs to be. And thank you for the community support. And thank you, Dr. Gold, for bringing us here tonight to honor that.
Thank you all. Dr. Gould?
At this time, we will have our building report from Principal Murray, and it looks like we have some very distinguished guests behind us.
Hello, thank you. We do. Tonight, when I reflected on the building report, we have many wonderful students and lots of different student organizations, right, that make us who we are. However, I think these two groups behind us are two of our student groups that work hard and are not always seen by the community. So we have with us tonight our choir and our orchestra, along with our two instructors in the back. So they're both going to review just a few quick highlights about their program, and then we'll hear a song from both groups. So I'm going to pass this off to Mrs. Shively first. So Mrs. Shively is our orchestra director. She's been with us for 2 years now. I'm building a wonderful program, so I'll let her review a little bit.
All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you so very much for welcoming us and inviting us to tonight's board meeting here. I just have a couple of slides just to highlight a little bit about what we do, kind of what we did last year, a couple of statistics, and then how we're going to sort of look and structure ourselves moving forward. So on the next slide here are just a bunch of boring numbers. Last year, we had about 170 student musicians. I am still in the process of either recruiting and or tracking down some Lakeview kiddos. So I'm hoping that we can push 200 this school year, but we're right on the cusp. And then I obviously have students in 8 different grade levels at 3 different buildings, and I kind of run around this district every day like a chicken with their head cut off. But we have a really great time. We also have a lot of different ensembles that students can participate in. Down at Lakeview, we have 5th and 6th grade orchestra. Those are separated by grade level. At Kenton, we have 7th and 8th grade, again, separated by grade level. And here at the high school, we have a lot of opportunities. I have a chamber string ensemble behind me. We also started a symphonic group last year where we collaborate with the band department. And then this year, I'm really excited to help out the pit orchestra. So very excited to be able to participate in all of those different extracurriculars. Next slide just has a couple of goals for us this school year. Obviously, pre-mentioned, we want to grow in size. And hopefully as we grow in size, we also improve in caliber, and we can sort of increase or augment the skill level and the grade level of the repertoire that we play. And then kind of what we're doing here tonight is just increasing our presence, sort of upping our exposure, reminding the community that we are here, kind of like Horton Here's a Who, and just letting people know that we exist and that we're available to play. Next slide just has a couple of highlights from last school year. We performed for the Wall of Fame induction ceremony. We actually just did that a couple of hours ago this year. I'm sure we'll be invited back to play for the National Honor Society. That typically happens beginning of October. And then we were invited by Akron Children's Hospital to play at their Holiday Tree Festival. We will be returning to that again this year. On the next slide sort of highlights a couple of things that we're going to do this year as well. A couple of new things that we're looking forward to are obviously performing here tonight. And then we've been invited to perform at a Cleveland Cavs game, probably midwinter, early spring. Not really sure what that looks like yet, but we're super excited for that opportunity. And then we're going to continue to participate in some adjudicated events and just get some really, really great written feedback to help us improve moving forward. I have one more slide here that just highlights some of our upcoming performances. Our first fall concert is actually coming up pretty rapidly. We're going to perform right here in this building, grades 7 through 12, on Tuesday the 28th at 7. And then we have a couple other holiday performances to look forward to. On the last slide, there's a little QR code to visit our website. If you want to learn more about us, sort of see what we do and get our calendar, we would love for you to check us out. But we're really excited to perform a little tune from Shrek for you here this evening. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Orchestra. My name is Nick Kimpagna. This is my 14th year in the district. I teach at the high school. I teach at Kimpton. I have been at some elementary buildings at some point, but I'm more at the upper grades now, which is preferred. Thank you, administration, for that. We have 3 choir classes at the high school. This is just one of them. This is concert choir. It's about 64% of concert choir competition. We're missing quite a few kids with after-school commitments. They're an SATB spread that's under basic mixed audition ensemble. They sing very advanced music, nearly at the collegiate level throughout the year. Treble choirs is spread out to only a class, and there's quite a few more of them in that class. There's 44 in that class this year. Tenor bass choir, there are lower voices, jokingly call themselves low lives sometimes. That's about 12 people in that class. We're up to almost a little over 100 students at the high school this year. We have a couple of extracurricular ensembles. If you've been around Stow, you know about madrigals. That's been around for a long time. That is a Renaissance ensemble, so singing songs from the 15 and 1600s. That popularity is going down, so they're evolving into a different ensemble this year. You're just going to have to wait and see what that's like. We're going to call it chamber choir and see what happens with that. And we have vocal jazz. That's a group that they all get their own microphone and sometimes sing up to 8 parts. We have our choir website on smfchoir.org if you want more information about the rest of the program. Next slide, please. Okay, quite a few achievements in the last couple of years. Concert choir and treble choir last year both qualified for OBA state contests. That's a huge achievement in the music world. If you're at that level to get to the state contest, you're amongst the best groups in the state. Concert choir had a superior rating in Class A. They were one of 2 choirs to get a, I'm going to say, full B superior straight ones that day out of the double A class. That's the most competitive class. Treble choir, excellent. That's a 2. That's the second best rating. I'm still super proud of them for their achievements that day. Treble choir back in 2019 performed at the Ohio Choral Directors Association Conference. That's a huge honor. It's mainly college groups and professional groups that sing at that event. We're the only high school group chosen to perform. And we're going to be applying for that very soon, given the fact that our numbers are coming back up since COVID. So we're going to be applying for that for maybe next summer. Tenor choir has been asked to perform with several collegiate choirs over the last few years, including University of Akron, Baldwin Wallace University, and Case Western Reserve University, either men's chorus or league club is what they call it. And Case just recently asked us to come share a concert with them again in December, but we're going to see what their schedules look like. That's going to be more important. Concert choir is also consistently qualified for state contest since 2015 at this school. We're super proud of the tradition of success that class holds. Super proud of it. Kimpton this year had a great spring. I haven't done much at the start of the year, but 2 years ago, actually, since 2024, they went to music in the parks and got the first place rating at that event and also the highest score all day. So they brought up 2 trophies that day. That's kind of fun. And that's where I roller coasters afterwards. And last year at the contest, OBA junior high contest, 7th grade both brought home superior rating. So again, we're building a tradition of success. Next slide, please. We have a couple of events coming up. Our Tech Day is October 25th. And if you aren't going to be home that day and still want to donate, I put the website on there, SMFCSD.org/donate, where you can donate via PayPal in case you're not home or in cash. We're really looking to raise some money this year to have some new sound equipment and an acoustic shell. That's going to be huge. We need a new one of that. Our first concert is October 30th. That's the high school only choir. They're up here. And then Camden High School are going to share a concert December 4th. On the same stage at 7 p.m. And we started doing this year as a pre-concert reception and bake sale. And we used it as a little bit of a fundraiser. We did it once. We made almost $2,000 fundraiser for a bake sale. And we were like, we're doing this all the time. This is a great fundraiser. So bring your appetite and bring some cash. Or again, we have a QR code to scan for those before the concerts. This conference is free. We'd love to see more people in the audience besides just parents. And there's a lot of parents here tonight. So I'd like to see some more community people in the audience for our concerts as well. It goes along. Yeah. I'm going to get the mic back to Mrs. Murray. We're going to perform a piece called Will There Really Be a Morning? It's an innocent poem about finding hope through tough times, actually. And then after that, we're actually going to combine forces for our choir. We're going to play this in our high school alma mater, a debut performance of choir orchestra. It's never been done. So we're going to be doing this together. So thank you.
Could I see it from the mountains if I were
Please stand for the playing of the Stow-Munroe High School alma mater.
Thank you to all the students for taking the time to be here tonight and to help showcase our here in Redmond. Thank you. I do think, would you think you're close?
It's pretty amazing what our parents program. Thank you all. We will now take a quick recess for anyone to excuse themselves after the performance. next item is our Bulldog Center Stage Awards. Dr. Gould?
I am excited that we are back to our Bulldog Center Stage winners. And for our September winners, I'm going to ask for them as they hear their name called to come to the stage. Tonight, we will be presenting our winners with a certificate as well as a gift certificate donated to us by Young's Printing, where they can go and buy all that nice Bulldog paraphernalia. So up first this evening is Adrian Carnahan, Special Education Assistant. Mr. C here. Mr. C goes above and beyond for his students. He is patient, kind, and caring, and always willing to help students and teachers. Mr. C will often work with students and find creative ways to get them to engage with school. Thank you, Mr. C. Next, we have from Indian Trail, Kelly Dentisi, Secretary. Shout out to Kelly. Each school year, Kelly does an incredible job getting our building up and running, from making sure students' names are in classrooms and final forms are updated, to setting up preschool inventory and materials and ensuring they are delivered where needed. She handles it all with care and precision. Kelly also goes above and beyond by clearly communicating the needs and procedures, helping everything run smoothly as possible. Thank you so much, Ms. Dentisi. Next, we have from Riverview, Michaela Gable, Special Education Assistant. Michaela is responsible for assisting 4 of my students through their days in the first grade classroom. She helps manage all parts of their days, whether this means helping with an academic problem, facilitating a break when someone gets upset, or fixing hair into ponytails when one of our little guys needs a hairstyle change. She works hard to ensure our students achieve their fullest potential and that the little first grade crew loves her dearly for it. Thank you so much. Next, from Woodland, we have Shelley Hall, Library Assistant. Shelley has gone above and beyond since starting as our librarian. I am sure Highland feels the same. She sends out what the students will be learning in the library, has an author visiting soon, makes newsletters for everyone to read, designs hand-on challenges for students, and plays fun guessing games for students and staff. Thank you so much. From the high school, Ryan Hinman, English teacher. Ryan gives us so much of himself to make meaningful connections with his students inside and outside of the classroom. Not only is he an incredible teacher of English 12 and rich speech and debate and acting, he also coaches our wonderful speech and debate team and co-directs all of our high school theatrical productions. I want to give an extra shout out for how he differentiates for his acting students. Thank you so much. From our bus garage, Allison Laughlin, bus driver. Allison spent the summer training a new driver that was able to start the first day of school. Thank you so much, Allison. Her willingness to help whenever and wherever needed is greatly appreciated, and she makes a positive difference in our community. From Lakeview, Kyle Patton, custodian. Kyle is always working hard to get the job done. He checks in on you to ensure everything is complete and you are fully satisfied with his work. Rain or shine, freezing cold weather, Kyle is outside working to make sure the building is functioning, fixing problems, and helping in any way needed. Kyle is always smiling, making time to have pleasant conversations with you. Thank you so much, Kyle. Next, from Echo Hills, we have Madeline Taylor, Intervention Specialist. Maddie has demonstrated exceptional dedication this month by consistently going above and beyond her regular responsibilities. She She has invested her personal time in building meaningful connections with students, taking genuine interest in their individual needs and circumstances. Her proactive approach to schedule coordination has been invaluable. Thank you so much. From Highland, Missy Thompson, custodian, night shift. Missy worked most of the summer independently to prepare a clean and safe environment for staff and students to return. Her work ethic and attitude is top-notch. She has always stepped up to assist in the kitchen until the role has been filled. Missy comes to work with a smile and ready to get things done. Her knowledge of Highland Building and its equipment is stellar. Thank you so much, Missy. Last but not least, Hannah Wallace, kindergarten teacher from Fish Creek. Hannah is new to Fish Creek this school year. She has been such a delight. She has handled all of the change and transition in stride, and honestly, it feels like she's just always been here with us. Hannah has been so positive, flexible, and open-minded. It is not always easy coming to join another building and a grade level team, and she has handled this with such professionalism and ease. She is a bright ray of sunshine. Thank you so much. And congratulations to all our Bulldog Center Stage winners. Now we're going to take a photo.
Our next item of business is comments from the audience on voted agenda items. At this time in our agenda, we invite citizens to share their concerns about items on today's agenda that will be voted on only. Comments on non-agenda items will be heard later in the meeting. All comments must be directed to the entire board and be no longer than 3 minutes. We will listen to and consider your remarks, but there will be no conversation aside from clarifying questions. If you are seeking a direct response or further information, we ask that you submit your request in writing. Please begin your remarks with your first and last name.
Before anyone comes up, I want to make a statement.
There is no statement from
To
you
this
on the
Stow-Munroe
agenda,
Falls
sir.
community,
There is no statement
School
from
board
you on
meetings
our
are very
agenda.
important to every student,
Mr.
parent, and
Sheehan,
community member. Why,
This
you
is
might
not a
ask?
part of our agenda.
Every school district in Ohio is under local control.
This is not
according to the
part
Ohio
of our
legislature.
agenda.
Each board meeting is to be set and run
This
by
is
the elected
incredibly
board members.
disrespectful to
The
everyone
sole purpose
involved
of those board meetings
is
is to
not
discuss and approve
a part
contracts,
of our agenda.
policies, and all governance
There
processes,
is no statement from you on the
procedures,
agenda.
and accountability for the district. All 5 of us are
It is
elected
time for
by the
public comment.
Stow-Munroe Falls community,
Do we have
and
any
all
public
have
comments?
equal rights and responsibilities. If the great state of Ohio just wanted one voice or one person to rule the other board members, elections would not need to exist. Since joining the
Okay, we
board,
need
my
to move
questions,
on in our
requests for
agenda. I'm not seeing
information,
any public
and
comments
discussion
right now.
topics have been ruled
No,
over by
okay.
both the board president and the superintendent.
It is time to move
This
on to the
obstruction of my
superintendent's
official
consent
duties
agenda.
has not been gone unnoticed by this community.
Do I
as
have a
they
motion
continue
for the
to
superintendent's
contact me
consent agenda?
with their
So
concern
moved.
over their voices being
Second.
muzzled.
Okay.
Since this is
Dr.
not a
Gould?
monarchy, but it is indeed a
At this time,
representative
I would like to
republic.
recommend the Board
We
of
need
Education
representative
approve consent
governance,
agenda items
not by
E through
ruling
G.
elitist regime. I have the right and responsibility
Do we
to
have any
add things to
discussion
my
of the
community,
consent agenda items?
ask for it to be on the agenda.
No.
I
Okay.
do not expect
Roll call, please.
our employees the ability to
East
muzzle
Jenkins.
my
Merlady.
constituents'
Aye.
voices
Sheehan.
by rejecting my request to add items onto the agenda. Thank you.
Stow-Munroe.
Aye.
Wind.
Aye. We expect our audience to behave in a manner consistent with what we expect from our students. Please maintain order.
Also, at this time, I would like to read the names and information of the donations listed in the consent agenda and personally thank them for what they do for the students and us. The followings have been donated to Fish Creek, and that is from Dairy Queen, Judith Irvine, Kathy Rothenall, Vitalia Senior Living. The following donated to Highland, Belly and Street Orthodontics, Catherine's Cakes. Donated to Woodland, Jasmine Bethune, Dairy Queen, and Mark Jones. Other donations include Acme Fresh Market, Aeronautics and Engineering CTE. There was an anonymous donation. Audia Technica donated as well. Ryan Cartwright, Fish Creek PTA. And those include our donations. We will be sending thank yous after the meeting.
Thank you to all of our generous donors. Our next item, Superintendent's recommendations. Dr. Gould?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Or personnel?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do I have a motion to approve the personnel recommendations?
So moved.
Second. Dr. Gould, any discussion? Any questions? Roll call, please.
East Jenkins.
Aye.
Merlady.
Aye.
Sheehan.
Aye.
Stow-Munroe.
Aye.
Wind.
Aye. Our next item, Title I Public School Program Agreements. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Dr. Gould?
This improvement allows the Akron Public School to provide licensed educators to implement the Title I program, serving our students attending the Faith Islamic Academy within Woodridge Local School District and Redeemer Local Schools within Cuyahoga Falls boundary. The amount of the funding to support the Title I program will be calculated from the Ohio Department of Education by a per pupil amount.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
East Jenkins.
Aye.
Merlady.
Aye.
Sheehan.
Aye.
Stow-Munroe.
Aye.
Wind.
Aye. Next, item C, Ohio Facilities Construction Commission. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Dr. Gould?
This application and resolution will be submitted to the Ohio Facilities Construction Commission. This is a formality which will assess our classroom facilities in the school district and develop a district-wide master facilities plan. We may then expand to any local resources, including the proceeds of bonds, to complete the discrete part of the overall master facility plan. That is either new construction or a major renovation. Again, this is a formality to keep us in line with where we are. Also to, when we decide when we would do that, we would already have those things approved, and it would look at our demographics and everything and calculate that into the process.
Thank you. So this is not an indication that a plan has been decided
No.
on or a timeline has been decided
No,
on?
this is to keep our place in line at the Facilities Construction Commission.
Any further discussion or questions?
Yeah, I'll make a comment here in regards to this. I will be voting no when it's time to vote. Until a forensics audit is done here at Stow-Munroe Falls High School, based on a lot of thanks from Mrs. Simpkins, who put in a lot of work, I would not be in favor of any kind of agreement to any kind of taking any more money from the public.
Roll call, please.
East Jenkins.
Aye.
Merlady.
Aye.
Sheehan.
Nope.
Stow-Munroe.
Aye.
Wind.
Aye. Item D, Kickoff Classic. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Gould?
This is a contract that will allow the Pro Football Hall of Fame to host the Stow-Munroe Falls High School football game on September 5th versus St. Francis Preparatory School.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
East Jenkins,
Aye.
Merlady,
Aye.
Sheehan,
Aye.
Sudonik,
Aye.
Wind.
Aye. Our next item is the security services contract. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Dr. Gould?
This contract allows the city to provide part-time school resource officers at certain buildings. And for additional context, we have invited Chief Film, who has worked very closely with us on this, and also Kelly Coffey, if she's here as well.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
East Jenkins,
Aye.
Merlady,
Aye.
Sheehan,
Aye.
Sudonik,
Aye.
Wind.
Aye. Next up is the treasurer's consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Galano?
All right, so on the consent agenda, you have the minutes and the financial report for August.
Do we have a discussion? I'd like to pull item C from the consent agenda.
Is there a reason?
Well, when we get to it, I'll tell you.
Well, we could talk about, I'm going to be talking about it now. Do you still want it pulled?
Okay. Yeah, when I pulled it up, I just want to get some clarity here. You have August 2025, but then on the first sentence, it says comprehensive financial analysis and performance overview for fiscal year 2026. So are you looking into the future?
So we're currently in fiscal year 26.
We're in fiscal year 26.
Correct.
Okay. So that may answer my other questions. So on.
Mr. Sheehan, why don't we let Mr. Galano present some of your questions?
Let's
might be
let's
answered by the
rewind that
presentation.
tape. Didn't he just tell me that to ask him the questions? Didn't you just ask me that? You said, do you want the questions that I have? Didn't you just ask me that?
I don't recall the exact verbiage, but yes, I said we would
Anyone want to, didn't he just ask me that?
Mr. Sheehan,
I'm gonna raise a.
Mr. Sheehan,
Yes, we did. So I'm going to continue.
You know, some of those questions might be answered by his presentation. It might be a little quicker and more efficient.
it's fine, Dr. Wynn.
Okay.
Mr. Sheehan, please ask your question so we can move on.
Okay, on page 2, so you have in that July and August fiscal year 2026. So again, what you just said, that's why we're in fiscal year 2026.
Correct.
Okay. And on the third page, you have the fiscal year 25 August, and then the fiscal year 2026, we have kind of those side-by-side numbers. What this is the fiscal year 25, what we just finished, and then fiscal year 26 is what we're in now, and what are these projections? Since we're just, because does it start in July?
Yes. The
Okay.
fiscal year runs July to June.
So are these numbers then projections?
No, so these are numbers comparing July last August to this August.
Okay. And then on executive summary, again, it says fiscal year financials performance, fiscal year 2026. So this is a summary because we're in 2026.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. So been talking about changing some of the financial reporting. So just a little bit different than last month. And so I find something I think is going to stick. So we are currently in fiscal year 26. Like I said, we run fiscal years from July to June. The calendar year dictates the end of the fiscal year of what fiscal year we are in. So we are in fiscal year 26 since it ends in June 2026. So you've seen this report many, many times for the last umpteenth months. These are actual numbers. As the months go on, you'll see more of the months. After I have all of August, all of September, I will start putting in projecting what I see as each month is. So you'll see the entire fiscal year up there probably by September, October. We have our actual spent for this fiscal year and then the forecasted as of our May 2025 forecast. This will be updated in October once we have our October forecast board approved. Just showing you where we receipted our money and we expended our money in our ending cash balance in our true days cash. So right now, as of the end of August of 2025, we had a true days cash of 98 days, which is wonderful to see, but that tends to dwindle down pretty quickly. And then on the right, we have where we're projected to be at the end of fiscal year 26.
A quick question there.
Sure.
What is the goal for days on hand for cash on hand?
Roughly, we want to see anywhere above 60 days cash on hand is a healthy liquidity balance.
And if I remember correctly, like around last year, we were at 30-ish and now we're at 60-ish.
Yeah, there's months where we will dip low just because we don't have we haven't been carrying over a ton of cash reserves year to year. So there are some months where it does get a little very low, which gets a little scary.
But this shows that we've built it back up. Is that correct?
For the last couple of fiscal years, we did have a positive cash balance carryover. So yes, we did increase the cash balance and the carryover, which is good. So we want to keep seeing the black numbers, not the red.
Thank you.
So then on page 3, like Mr. Sheen pointed out, we have last August and then this August where we receipted our money and where we expensed. And then you see the difference in that. You could see in the revenue, we received more of our property tax in August than we did last August. So it's not always gonna be perfect. We're at the mercy of the county when we receive those real estate dollars. So once we get them, I receipt them in. And then just kind of an executive summary moving on to what this is. So not going to read every single slide, but it's there. Some nice graphs of real estate, just so you could take those dollars that we saw above and put it into a nice visual. So you could see that in this August, we received more money than we did last August for real estate. And that's just the timing issue, not that we received so much more this year versus last year. It's all about timing. And then our investment portfolio, where our dollars are and how much there is, how much interest we brought in fees. So like this last month, we brought in over $103,000 in interest, which is always great to see. The more we have in save, the more we get a return on our dollars. And then our projection. So looking at our forecast and where we are currently to where we want to be at the end. And this is looking at the May 2025 forecast, which the graph will be updated once we do the October forecast, like I mentioned earlier. And then we go into our cash position report. And then I know we had some questions about the check register. The check registers are now going to be in the CFO report, which will be below the cash position report. So it's all one document, just so you don't have to go and look at certain places for that to be. So like I said, I'm still trying to mess around with it till I find something I think everyone could be happy with. So it looks a little bit cleaner, and it's nice to have some visuals to correlate to some of those numbers on a screen.
And I don't know how you would even account for this, but the one thing, it comes up frequently is, well, this year we had, more revenue this month than, last. Is there a way that we could see maybe like a 3-month, would that help us to understand that it was just cash came in at a different time this month versus, or is it just better just to say it every month?
I believe in the spring I did do I forget how far back I went, but it always differs, but usually in the first couple months of the fiscal year, that's when we get the bulk of the money.
Okay.
That just may be as people are paying and who are not paying their taxes, and when the county gets their money to distribute to us. But normally we should see it in July, roughly.
Oh, okay.
And it might carry over into August, but I could work on that and see how it looks and then present it at a time.
It might just create more extra work for no reason, but I just wanted to, I just noticed when I'm looking at it myself, it seems like, well, this year, why did we get such a low amount in June versus last year? And it's just the same answer every time.
Yep, just whenever we receive our money.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Any further questions? Thank you, Mr. Galano. Roll call, please.
East Jenkins,
Aye.
Merlady,
Aye.
Sheehan,
Nope.
Sudonic,
Aye.
Wind,
Aye. Okay, our next item is Neola Policy Package A from August. This is the second reading. There's no action needed on this item. Our next item is the Ohio checkbook. Mr. Sheehan, this was your item.
Yes, it was. Okay, so you received today, well, let me backtrack. You, Patrick, you had told me that there was nothing listed on the records with the state of Ohio. I had referenced 2016 and 2017. You stated there was nothing there. I had sent you both of those today. There are 3,600 pages. So yes, we did file and we did participate in the Ohio checkbook in the year 2016, 2017. Why it was stopped, I can only assume why, but I'm not going to state the reason why. But that doesn't eliminate us from being and participating in that again. So would you be able to tell me when we will be active back in the Ohio checkbook?
Are you stating we stopped as of 2017?
Would have been 2018, I guess.
So it
And
hasn't.
we have 2016, 2017. We did file. Once it was a resolution in 2015, there are records that show 2016, 2017, we did participate in the Ohio checkbook.
Did you happen to notice in 2018 if there was anything that happened?
Nope, hasn't been anything since then. And I said, I can only assume, but I don't know as fact, so I'm not going to assume. But that's irregardless of the fact that there's nothing to stop us now because it is still an active resolution. It has not been changed.
Going back to what where you said that this was active on Ohio checkbook, where exactly? I'm on there now and I don't see.
Well, now I sent you the actual stuff, the actual 3,600 pages.
All right, I haven't checked my emails since, so I will have to. Just because when I'm on Ohio checkbook and I search Stow-Munroe Falls City Schools,
You have them in your email.
Mr. I when did you send that?
I don't know, this afternoon.
Okay.
And you located those from the Ohio checkbook website or from someone giving them?
I don't know, I got them from the state of Ohio.
From the
okay.
state of
Because
Ohio?
apparently they were very hard to find. I found them.
yeah, so I'm on the Ohio checkbook now. So when I go to Stow-Munroe Falls City School District, at a quick glance, there's no records.
Yes, I had the same problem, and I kept digging, and I found 2016 and 2017, which you have in your email right now.
Okay, you don't
Which
have to.
you
You don't have to
sent-
raise your voice. I'm just showing.
I
you.
know. and
Which you
I
sent
had-
that
I had
email
the same
only a couple
problem.
of hours ago
Yeah, I did.
without a lot of time.
Right, yeah, now you know how I feel, so.
Pretty much.
So it's there, but it doesn't remove the fact that I didn't need to have to prove it to you, but I did. We have a resolution to be participating in the Ohio checkbooks, and why am I getting the pushback?
You're not getting any pushback, Mr. Sheehan. From when I was looking at this, it seems that the Ohio checkbook has never been used since this resolution.
And I showed it to you. And regardless of that, it was a resolution. Now, whether we participate in that, that was up to the treasurers at that time. Why it was stopped, I can only assume. Maybe the treasurer at the time didn't want to have the Ohio checkbook in there. Maybe the superintendent at the time didn't want to have it in there and they stopped it. It's regardless, it is a resolution. You said you couldn't see it. You'll see, I mean, it's there. But it doesn't remove the fact that when in 2025 or 2020, well, it would be 2025, when will the data be added into the Ohio checkbook?
It still says at the discretion of the treasurer, so it doesn't, not something.
No, it's the discretion of the treasurer when to put it in there, which was going to be my next question. It's a resolution from the board. The treasurer, who is an employee, does not get to pick and choose what he puts on in
That's what the
a.
resolution says, though.
Yes, it does say that.
Yeah, it says at the discretion of the treasurer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could you let me know where you found that information that's posted on the Ohio checkbook?
I can send it to you. I'm not going to send it to you right now. I don't have a way of doing that.
Because if you're stating that it's posted on the Ohio checkbook and it's not, according to what.
No, it took me a while to dig to find the right person in Ohio who was able to provide it for me.
So you did not find it on a publicly available website?
No, it wasn't there. He's showing you right now it's not there. They probably only hold them for so many years and then they stop showing them. I don't know the reason why, but we did participate in the Ohio checkbook.
What are you hoping to accomplish?
Transparency.
We publish the checkbook every single month.
That's fine. This is a more transparent version. And it was a resolution by a previous board.
Mr. Sheen, as you said, it's more transparent. Did you look at any other schools who are currently using the Ohio
No.
checkbook?
I know there's a lot of them that do, but
So you did not actually look at the data that's provided in this website.
no, but I just feel comfortable the fact that we are participating in it.
Okay, so
Now, if you want to send the other stuff, what you're doing, that's up to you. But there was a resolution to be part of the Ohio checkbook, and we need to participate in the Ohio checkbook. So my question is, when will 2025 be added into the Ohio checkbook?
I don't have an answer for you right now.
I'd ask that we put this on as new business for another meeting to discuss if the board actually wants to take part in that or not, since this is something from 2015 that stopped in 2018. I think it's well within the time to discuss it again and see if it's something that this board wants to do, because obviously back in 2018, they decided not to do it. So I think it's time to have another discussion. Thank you.
And
Another discussion based on what? You want to amend? Do you want to amend the resolution? Do you want to delete the resolution?
We can move this back to policy committee, or we can talk about our doing a resolution on our own, but reinstating something from 2018 that we don't even have any, no sitting board members or even part of that. The treasurer here is not part of that. The superintendent's not part of it. We have not been doing it for 7 years plus. I think it's time to revisit it rather than just reinstate it without thinking about it. Obviously, you weren't even aware of what is even posted when you talk about the Ohio checkbook. So I think it's time that we all educate ourselves on what it actually means. The information is publicly available currently every single time that the agenda is posted. It is not hidden from anyone. It is not a lack of transparency. And the reason that you're pushing that is to further your political agenda. And I don't think that political agendas belong on the school board. Thank you.
Whoa, that's a stretch. That's a stretch.
so, Mr. Sheen,
Yes.
So I went up to a different school.
Pam, where was your gavel there?
I just did gavels.
All right, so Mr. Sheehan, I pulled up another school. I believe this is Akron, and this goes back to 2018.
Okay.
I know when I was looking at this a couple months ago, I pulled up a school that went to 2016. So I don't know if you could reach out to the contact you found that gave the information of why the information is gone. But when I first look at this, I find this is far more confusing than what our check registers actually give. So I think anybody who's looking at this, if they have not already, they're going to be more confused and have more questions versus than just looking at our check register that we publish every month.
So you're making a comment on the assumption that people aren't smart enough to decipher from that what they need to. Is that what you're saying?
No, Mr. Sheehan, not at all.
That's what it sounded like to me.
I said
so.
I
It
find
still goes back to the fact
The
that we
audience
have
be
a
quiet,
resolution. If that's what it takes, that we have to bring it up for a discussion, and we want to delete that or eliminate it or get rid of it. But the fact that we haven't done it since 2017 is irrelevant because it is still an active resolution on our policies. We're always about policy, but now we have a policy that doesn't fit, so now we have to just ignore it. And I don't think we need to ignore it because it was a resolution that was that was voted on and approved by a prior board.
The insinuation that anyone has pushed back on you for any reason is patently false. And the fact is, you could see for yourself that the Ohio checkbook did not show our information up there. You personally acknowledged that you had to go digging and find it for
Yes,
someone else.
I should
So
have to.
It's
I'm not
insulting.
the
Mr.
paid
Sheehan,
employee.
Ms. Suhodonik is speaking.
I'm not the paid employee.
Please do not interrupt.
It is insulting to speak to an administrator in that manner. You were obviously proven wrong. It is not part of the Ohio checkbook at the moment. And I think that it is behavior unbecoming of a board member to continue to act out and speak in this manner.
And Mr. Sheehan, I said I find it confusing. I didn't insinuate anybody else was. But also you indicated that you did not further your research in this. You probably just searched Stowe and found out that it wasn't there.
No, I've just talked to other board members who are part of this, and they said, yeah, aren't you? And I said, well, no, we're supposed to be, but we're not. And that's if you want to provide that other as an alternative, that's fine if you want to provide that. I'm not saying not to provide that.
Let's include
We're
this
picking and
as an
choosing our
agenda item
resolutions here.
on our
that,
next
what we're
meeting.
supposed to go with and what we're not supposed to go with.
That's obviously false. You weren't even aware of it for months on your own until somebody else had to tell you about it. And then so for you to act like,
I've been asking
excuse
for
me, can you
4
please
months.
stop interrupting me?
Oh, yes.
The audience will quiet down, or we will take a recess for everyone to gather themselves back into appropriate behavior.
Continuing to allege that there's any kind of wrongdoing or action because of the fact that a resolution that wasn't followed for 7 years is ridiculous. It's time to move on from this discussion. We will discuss it with the facts presented in front of us instead of just information that you don't even have completely in front of you. Thank
Who
you.
alleged any wrongdoing? Where are these assumptions coming from?
Maybe
Did I use anything about wrongdoing? Where's that coming
Mr.
from?
Sheehan, this is a meeting of the board, not a meeting between the board and the audience.
Aren't you voters?
This is
Aren't you
a business
taxpayers?
meeting of the board. And it is time for us to move on to our next discussion item.
This was my discussion item, and you're just going
And
to
it is
move on?
time to move on. Yes, sir. I am the presiding officer
And you can decide that.
of this
You can
meeting.
tell me, who is an equal
You are not-
20% member, that you can just override what I'm talking about. Is that what you're telling me? Are you telling me to be quiet?
I am telling you that I am the presiding officer and that I have decided that this conversation has stopped being
you're
productive.
you're
and
telling
it
me
is
to be
time
quiet.
move on.
You're telling me to be quiet.
It's time to move on. The
All
next
right.
item
So
is
she's
about
she's telling me
DoorDash.
to be quiet.
The next item is about DoorDash, and that is also your item, sir.
Fine, too. Just want to know what's happening. It's been going on 9 months. I'd like an update.
As of the last statement we received on 9/5/2025, all DoorDash fraud charges have been credited back. I am working on a document that shows what was charged in, I think, November, December of 2024. So you could correlate the charges then, and you could see that they've been credited back in on this past statement. I was hoping to have it here today, but I ran out of time. But that you'll have that by the end of the week, so you could correlate each charge to where it was credited back on this current document, so everyone could see that all DoorDash charges have been credited back.
Can I
Will
ask
you
to
have
reiterate
the-
if you, if these were immediately disputed or not?
I'm sorry. Say
Can
that
I
again.
ask you to reiterate if these charges were immediately disputed or not?
Yes, once we saw the fraud charges on the card holder then called to report the fraud, and then that's when the ball started to roll.
Thank you, because there's continued misinformation being spread about the fact that the DoorDashes were never disputed. And I think that it's important for us to have facts and not speculation.
Yes, it did. There was several back and forth moments between us and Dollar Bank credit card. So
Can we have those? Can I see those?
most of them were on phone call, but we do have a public records request for all records. So once we have the public records to produce, I will notify the board.
And this will be when the claim was started, the conversation about the claim,
These will be the
and will there be anything on there why it's taking 9 months, almost 10 months to get this taken care of?
I could give a brief I could give a report in a brief summary of what happened, but you're not gonna. the public records are going to produce records. They're not going to have logs of verbatim of conversations or anything, just when and who, when the numbers were called to talk to the support at Delaware Bank credit card.
So if that was the case, then why on the next charges, there was never a statement made of a disputed amount of money? Why was that never on the credit card? If we started the process, wouldn't it say disputed charge $5,100?
I don't know how they do the reporting, Mr. Sheehan.
Can you find that out? Because if I was out $5,100 and I made a claim and I got my statement and it said zero, they're not claiming anything, I would be a little suspect. Are they actually taking care of the claim?
Yes.
So can you find out why it was not on any of our statements?
Sure.
And again, you're gonna, when it was started, and that a piece of paper that it's gonna show that that money has been credited back to us along with because you mentioned it was and that the interest was, but we were never able to get anything on paper to validate that.
Several months ago, I validated the interest and fees.
You did, but I asked, I wanted to see it, and I never
There,
did that.
it was a slide attached to the board docs. I don't know if you were there that day, but
Maybe not.
they were all present.
But I should have been emailed to me. I was the one that was asking.
Yes, and it was presented at a board meeting where you like to do your board business.
But you could have emailed it to me.
And you have access to board docs, Mr. Sheehan.
Along with, there's quite another extensive list. I don't know if you want to go through it right now as far as other things, or I can email that to you again.
Since this is referring to DoorDash charges, the DoorDash
It is
charges?
not.
Okay.
Then it is not included in this item.
Mhm.
Anyone else have any further questions on this topic? Okay. Discussion item C is regarding buses and safety. Mr. Sheehan, at our last meeting, you referenced an article about this, and you have been asked several times to provide it and share it with the rest of the board and administration so that we can prepare for meaningful discussion. You have not provided
You
that
got it.
article that you
I
referenced.
sent it over this afternoon. Yes, I did.
He sent it today at 4:59 PM.
At 4:59. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was at the new staff dinner, so.
Now you know how I feel.
It's the same, it's the
You
same.
feel that it is impossible for you to behave as a team member. I understand. Now, about the buses, what are your concerns?
The safety. This article mentioned Stow, that we have some pretty, we're a percentage, which it says 20%, and from what I found out, that is even higher of our buses being out of service. So that's a concern. And I did want to bring this up last meeting. I thought it would be essential that we talked about it since this was on the news on September 3rd, but I didn't get a second. So here we are 2 weeks later.
Sir,
talking
when you
about
saw
this.
that article on September 3rd, did you alert the administration and the rest of the board to the presence of that article? You did not. We were unable to be prepared at our prior meeting in order to discuss this.
Okay. Well, again, this was just making things, the public aware of the fact that there were some issues with our buses and just where that stands. And the other issue was the fact that we're having difficulty in getting mechanics because of what appears to be the amount of money that we're able to pay them. So I'm just wanting to know about that. And then also with a very concerned citizen who reached out to me, who has reached out to the board. She has sent many emails that she was very concerned about the fact that there were safety protocols that were never done on our buses. So I wanted to see if that was true or not.
So let me start back at the beginning.
Okay.
First of all, this is not an article. It's a news station release. And Stowe was just thrown in the mix of that conversation. I have our supervisor for transportation here tonight that will go over our bus pieces. The other thing in regards to employment, we did hire someone. We did offer someone the position. They decided not to take the position. So let's stop talking about salaries. The other thing in regards to the community member, the community member was communicated by myself, talked to her on the phone, and also Mark Treen met with her in person. So we have addressed those issues and talked about some next steps. So I'll bring up Supervisor Don Baker in regards to talking about transportation and answer your questions.
Okay, good evening. So in regards to the article, they said 20% of our buses didn't pass. Technically, 2 buses did not pass inspection. 6 buses were never put through inspection. We have 1 mechanic currently, and he just wasn't able to get all of those buses ready to go. 3 were being disposed of. 3 just require a lot of extensive update. As far as safety goes, our drivers are trained on a 200-point inspection that they do every morning before they leave the bus garage. No bus leaves Stow-Munroe Falls unsafe. Not one of our children get on a bus unsafe. I put my own personal grandchildren on those buses. So, and I brought copies of all the inspections of what each driver has to look for.
Thank you for that.
When the state highway comes in to do the annual, so our buses are inspected twice a year, once on a spot. 6 months later, they do an annual. Every bus goes through 2 inspections. When the state highway patrol comes in, they do a 300-point inspection. So, and that's more of the underside, the extra points are the underside where our drivers can't see. But our mechanics pull them in and do inspections too. Whenever our driver tells them there's something wrong, they get them in and look at them and fix them.
There was more. No, I think that, yeah, there you go. I don't envy you. I know it's got to be a very difficult job, but when those things come up and people are asking me, hey, are our buses safe? That's why I want to bring it to the attention of the board. And the one question that the concerned parent had about the safety inspections, or I don't know if it was safe. No, it wasn't safety inspection. I think it was emergency. Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay.
So she probably was asking about emergency evacuations.
Yeah.
We do those every October.
Okay.
And we do them in the morning. And we have a schedule that we follow. Because we have to not only have our bus staff, but we have to have an employee of the school at wherever we do them at. So like Fish Creek, Echo Hills, some of our non-pubs we do over at Stowe Alliance Church. And then I go out myself and help supervise so that those students, as they're getting off the bus, are safely put back on a bus and they don't wander.
What do you call those again?
They're called emergency evacuations.
And we have been doing these.
That is correct.
And it's once a year, and you're saying October, so coming up next month, we'll be doing that again?
Yes. So at the beginning of October, we do student counts. At the end of October, we do emergency evacuations. We do front door, rear door, and then we split half and half so that they learn how to do it either way. They also learn how to open the emergency hatches, how they open the emergency windows, and how to use a radio in case our driver becomes impaired and they need to be able to call us.
Okay, no, it's great to hear, because again, the conversation that was, to me, was that they haven't been done. So you're saying they have been, and I take your word for it.
We do them in the morning, and so some of those parents that have reached out, their kids only ride in the afternoon. So that isn't, so we've explained that we do them in the morning. We only have so much time, and in the afternoon, there's absolutely no way that we could do those.
Thank you.
And I just want to say that, we run 39 buses They run 3 tiers, so we split it up over a week so that we can cover all the tiers safely.
Thank you again.
Thank you for all of that information. Okay, our next item of business is comments from the audience. At this time, we welcome any additional comments and concerns that citizens wish to bring before the Board of Education. All comments must be directed to the entire board and be no longer than 3 minutes. We will listen and consider your remarks, but there will be no conversation aside from clarifying questions. If you are seeking a direct response or further information, we ask that you submit your request in writing. Please begin your remarks with your first and last name.
Hello, my name is Aaron Yeager, and I'm Secretary of Stow Collaboration for Change, a local nonprofit. Last night, a member of this board hosted a vigil for Charlie Kirk, an extremist who endorsed racism, homophobia, transphobia, sexism, anti-Semitism, and other forms of hate across the country. The board member,
Was that me?
may I please
You
continue?
You can use my name. I'm giving you permission. You can use my name.
Mr. Sheehan, please don't interrupt our public commenters.
Michael Sheehan hosted the vigil, readily identifying himself to the Akron Beacon Journal as an SMF school board member, and the article about the event mentions this several times. In doing so, the board member, Michael Sheehan, represented the district in affirming Kirk. Let's explore some of Kirk's past statements. At the 2024 America Fest convention, Kirk said the following, quote, "Martin Luther King Jr. was awful. He's not a good person. He said one good thing he actually didn't believe," unquote. In a podcast called Thought Crime, Kirk cited Leviticus 18 from the Bible, paraphrasing it to say that if a man lays with another man, he shall be stoned to death. He proceeded to call it, quote, "God's perfect law when it comes to sexual matters." Shame on you, Michael Sheehan, for honoring a man who, by his own statements, would have endorsed the murder of people like me, a gay man, by the state. How you even pretend to represent the district, I have no idea. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Faith Greer. I'd like to start by apologizing for those on social media who have been attacking certain of you board members lately. Most, if not all of the attacks have come from persons who are not Stow-Munroe Falls residents or who no longer even have children in the district. At least one such attack came from a board member, sorry to say. The same board member has also been posting Moms for Liberty talking points, the right-wing extremist group that spreads misinformation and fear-mongering about what schools are supposedly doing with regard to turning children gay or transgender. No one can turn someone gay or transgender. As I am a retired school psychologist, please know that the National Association of School Psychologists, quote, recognizes that sexuality, gender identity, and gender expression in all their forms are natural, undeniable aspects of human development. LGBTQ+ students are negatively impacted by interpersonal and systemic discrimination, such as legislation, hate speech that denies humanity and identities, and victimization, end quote. According to data from suicide prevention studies, more than half of LGBTQ+ high school students experienced anxiety and depression over the past year of 2023, and 41% seriously considered suicide. Those youth living in affirming homes report greater social emotional well-being and lower rates of suicidality, yet only just over 1/3 of those youth feel affirmed at home. School psychologists respect the right of privacy of students and do not share information about the sexual orientation, gender identity, or transgender status of a student, including minors, without that person's permission. To do so may also violate the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. This is what school psychologists are ethically bound to do. School counselors have similar ethical standards. If a child comes out at school as LGBTQ+, and you don't know about it as a parent, the problem is not the school. The problem is the child's relationship with the parent. The child doesn't trust the parent with that information. So let's stop with the misinformation, fear-mongering, and personal attacks, and accept actual facts and do what is best for all Stow-Munroe Falls students. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Susan Meyercheck. I want to say I am embarrassed for our community that we have a board member.
You
who
can use
can't
my name.
behave,
You can use my name.
That can't behave. He comes across as unprepared sometimes and brings up a statement at a totally inappropriate time, but he had 3 things that he submitted for discussion. So he knows when something is going to be for discussion and when there's not time for discussion. So he's purposely being disruptive, and it's embarrassing for the community and very disrespectful to the rest of the board who come prepared and the community that's here tonight to listen to the board business. I also want to say that when I saw the post the other day about the Charlie Kirk Memorial that was going to happen, I called City Hall to find out who was sponsoring it. And I said, I called, I got the secretary. I said, who is this, who's doing this? Is this a City Hall event? Because that's what I thought from what I read. And she said, no, someone from the school board is sponsoring it. Well, I think that not only would that be completely out of line, but I know that not to be true. Then I thought maybe that was an honest error on this point of the secretary, right?
Yes, it was.
But then you were referred to as a school board member on the radio, on newspaper articles, and other Facebook posts. So that is not just a mistake or a mistake of a representation. That's a false representation of a school board, making it look like the school board or the city hall was sponsoring that event. And I'm offended by that because I think that Charlie Kirk was a very divisive person. And, that kind of program you're welcome to have, but it does not represent the school board. It's not school board business, and it does not represent City Hall. It's a personal or religious issue. So that's where that event should have been held, and anybody having anything to do with it should have been referred to as a private citizen, not in their role as a school board member. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Evelyn Kremyar. I am a retired children's librarian. My entire professional career was spent bringing children and books together in both school and public libraries. On September 17th, the U.S. Department of Education, which is apparently no longer destined for extinction, partnered with more than 40 conservative organizations to create the America 250 Civics Education Coalition. Among those partner organizations is Moms for Liberty, a group that works to ban books from schools and libraries, especially materials that deal with LGBTQ issues or include LGBTQ characters, because they believe reading such books will lead children to become gay. I am vehemently opposed to book banning in general, and I am opposed to the Moms for Liberty book banning agenda specifically for 2 main reasons. Number 1, as Faith Greer just explained, no one can turn someone gay, And reading about gay people will not do that either. Reading can entertain, educate, and inspire, but it cannot magically transform people into something that they are not. Reading murder mysteries will not make you a murderer. Reading about wizards or princesses or pop music stars will not transform you into one. Reading about people with autism cannot make you autistic, just as reading about gay people cannot make you gay. Number 2, every parent has the right to decide what their children can or cannot read. I absolutely support that. But one parent's right ends where the rights of other parents begin. When a book is removed from a school or library, the right to choose whether or not to read that book is taken away from every parent and child, not just the parent who finds the book objectionable. Think of it this way. If parents decide that pizza is not a nutritious food, they can refuse to serve it at home and insist their child not eat it at school, but they cannot demand that the lunchroom remove pizza from the menu so that no child can eat it. Parents have the right to make decisions for their own children, but not for everyone else's. If you believe in free speech, you have to believe in both parts of it. There is the freedom to say what you believe, and there is the freedom to hear and listen to what others have to say. Whether or not you like what you hear, whether or not you agree with what they say, whether those words are spoken or written. If we believe in free speech.
I'm sorry, time's up. Thank you.
Hello. My name is Rachel Jameson. I'm a Stow-Munroe Falls alumni. First, I want to thank the members of this board who remain committed to serving all students in the district by ensuring they can learn and thrive in an environment where they feel safe, welcomed, and valued. Your dedication, even in the face of online threats, harassment, and even doxing from fellow board members, does not go unnoticed. The events of the last few weeks have undoubtedly led to uneasiness and uncertainty among students of vulnerable populations and minority populations in the district, particularly students of color and students who are part of the LGBTQIA community. They need to know that the adults entrusted with their education will stand up for them. Thank you to those who continue to do so. At its core, this board exists to serve students. Every decision, policy, and action should be guided by that responsibility to protect student safety and support their success. You have been elected to serve them, and they rely on you to act in ways and make decisions that keep them safe at school, regardless of their background or how they identify. It is reassuring during these uncertain times that the majority of the board has kept this at the forefront. Unfortunately, not all members share that commitment, and some continue to take actions that are divisive and not inclusive to all students of the district. When a board member repeatedly spreads harmful rhetoric against LGBTQIA+ students, promotes individuals who oppose the Civil Rights Act and LGBTQIA+ rights, and encourages division rather than inclusion, they are failing in their duty. Their actions advance a personal agenda at the expense of the very students they were elected to serve. These actions, combined with encouraging the doxing of other board members and their families online, tarnishes the reputation of the board and sends an extremely negative message to vulnerable students and members of the community. This fuels a hostile environment that emboldens community members to mirror that conduct by doxing, harassing, and even threatening board members. At a time when politically motivated violence is on the rise, this is reckless and dangerous behavior for an elected official to normalize. I wonder what message these actions send to students. How can they feel safe when a member of the Board of Education spreads rhetoric that threatens their very existence? How can they feel supported when leaders uplift voices that advocate stripping away their rights? All students deserve an environment where they are safe, respected, and valued, regardless of race, religion, identity, or background. They cannot learn, let alone thrive, if they are forced to fear for their safety. I urge this board to recommit itself to its most fundamental responsibility, to lead, make policy, and act in ways that affirm the dignity and safety of every student in this district. Thank you.
Hold on, Rachel. Rachel, do you live in Stow?
Mr. Sheehan?
No, I'm getting some clarity. Do you live in Stow?
I will not be engaging with you, Mr. Sheehan. You can feel free to reach out to me directly if you'd like to have a conversation. Thank you.
Oh, okay. I'll take that as a no.
Mr. Sheehan, please do not harass our commenters.
You just read that I can, if I want some clarity, I can ask a question. Didn't you just read that?
My name is Linda Picarillo-Smith. I just wanted to briefly comment. I have attended board meetings in the past. I will admit I don't regularly attend board meetings. So I should also add that in my capacity in my job, I have served and do serve on many committees, including a climate survey committee and faculty senate at my university. There are lots of discussions that are contentious, lots of times when people vehemently disagree with one another. That's part of the democratic process of experiencing and hearing all differences of opinion and letting people learn from those differences and then come together and find some resolution. I will have to say that I have never seen anything like this. I have been in very contentious meetings with people who were on opposite sides of every kind of spectrum and still were able to be respectful, were able to follow the rules of conduct for the meeting, and were able to, if couldn't resolve their differences, at least hear their differences aired, be willing to table it and deal with it in a subcommittee or at a later date once people had more time to process. I would personally like to apologize to the treasurer, who is just doing a job, has a right to be asked questions, but not to be disrespected. And I would say the same to the members of the board who have set an agenda and then have that agenda ignored. That is opposite of the democratic process, where there's rules in order to have full engagement. So I appreciate the members of the board who have respected that process. And I would just like to encourage all of us in these contentious times where we have very polarized views to at least respect the process, because it really does not speak well for the young people who were here earlier, for the young people who the board is representing. Thank you.
My name is Dina Edwards. I am an educator in the Woodridge Local Schools, and I have a story to share. I teach middle school and high school reading in English as a second language to students, and I was every beginning of every period I start off with the question of the day, and just gets us warmed up. And the question the other day was, if you could have any house, regardless of cost, and describe what your house would include. And a lot of kids were saying basketball courts and swimming pools, but 2 kids in 2 separate periods said that they would want their house to be bulletproof. Neither one of these kids knew the other said that, and these are 6th and 7th graders. And so, you know, it crushed me. And I say to them all the time that I'm sorry that this is how you're growing up. I'm sorry that you had to see what you saw. And I really just think if there's one thing recurring theme here this evening is that, we really are here for the kids. We're here to protect them. We're here to make sure they are informed and are able to make decisions about just grow up in an environment where they feel like they can be themselves. I just really wanted to kind of say that I think we're with all of the madness we're missing, at least in this meeting, it seemed like we're forgetting that there are actually children out there who are scared. They're scared, and I'm sick of the madness too. And I think at the local level, at the very least, we should do a better job at having that respect for one another. And like Linda said, having respect for the process, because the kids are watching. This poor young lady up here is just watching. And it's, they're the whole reason we're here. And so, anyway, I just wanted to share that story because that was a little sampling of kids too. It was probably like 2 periods, and they were maybe 20 kids in those classes total. So that must be a pretty recurring thing for these kids, that they're scared, and we're failing them right now. So that's all I have to say.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Susan Tomsey, and I do live in Stow. I would like to thank Dawn Baker for her job and role she plays in the transportation, because I've been looking at some figures, and due to the volume of vouchers out there, and because of vouchers, Stow is mandated to provide buses for these students. So I'm sure it's quite a big deal. So she has to have able to have her buses take these students to whatever school they have decided to go to, private school. And the year 2024, there was 480 students that needed to go to wherever they needed to go. That's quite a burden on the transportation. I'm from way back when, in the back, you get on a bus and go right to school. I mean, that was the bus driver's route. And nowadays, I don't know how she is able to manage it so successfully. And this year, the amount of voucher is 676 students in Stow using vouchers. So that's all the more that's put on Mrs. Baker's shoulders. So I just want to thank her for a good job that she's doing.
Hi, my name is Raquel Capon. I just want to add some context. I've been coming to watch school board meetings for about a year, a little over a year. My son goes to Stow. And I've seen one board member put up with a lot of grief and a lot of smug attitude and breaking of rules going that direction for about a year now. So I understand that things get contentious, whatever. But he's asking a lot of good questions. I want to thank the superintendent for getting the information about the buses. Don't know why it didn't happen last time, but it seems like one group has a political agenda. Someone's just sick of it, like a lot of us are. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Amy Messmore-Jones. I wanted to start, like I always start my public comments, and state how appreciative and proud I am of most of our board members, especially now. You do a lot of good work for this community and do not deserve the hate and now doxing that some of you are experiencing. If it was as simple as people online stating that they disagreed with you, I wouldn't be up here, but this is sadly not the case. Some members of the community that support a board member sadly think it is okay to use bullying and intimidation to get what they want. This is sadly growing to be more and more of a reality, not only in our community, but in our country. Bully and intimidate others until you get what you want. But that is where I and so many others who are here in this room who support a majority of this board draw a line. I was appalled to see a group of people last school board meeting standing and waiting for a school board member. It breaks my heart to think what would have happened if a group of us who support this board member were not at this meeting. Is this really the direction we want to be heading as a community? It is not the direction I want to be heading. I don't know about you, but I grew up with the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated. This included people that I did not like. We also want to set an example for our children who attend these schools and these meetings. Do you think that by seeing community members bully and intimidate those on the board in person and online is showing what model citizens and good role models are? In my opinion, I do not think so, and we need to do better.
My name is Marty Simpkins, and I think the very first thing I'd like to say is that thankfully that we live in the United States, and any of you that do not like or follow Charlie Kirk, the Bible, or anything else, we're not obligated or probably invited to that vigil. Many of us that went were very happy with it, and that was satisfactory, and we really don't care that you don't like Charlie Kirk. But I'm here because I'm asking about the master facility plans contracts that you're voting on. And these are dependent on the bond levy passing. And I'd like to know, when is this bond levy being put back up for the vote? And number two, if the election goes as we hope and the majority of this board is replaced, can the new board cancel the contract if they choose not to put a $240 million bond up for vote?
Hello, my name is Kathy Zielinski. I've been a Stow-Munroe Falls parent for 13 years now. I just want to say that in those 13 years, before anyone was even on this board, anyone that's sitting here, I worked side by side with probably 90% of this board in classrooms, volunteering at holiday parties, volunteering at the book fair, volunteering at after-school events, volunteering at mother-son events, father-daughter events, just generally being a presence in the school. I have worked side by side with them for years, putting on Halloween costumes, doing crafts with kids in the classroom, really engaging with those students. There is a board member that I have never in 13 years seen at a school event or a community event. Yet that board member took the time to organize a vigil for a hateful, divisive person. Now, my question would be, why didn't that board member do a vigil for any of the 433 children that have been gunned down at school since the year 2000? Why is a podcaster more important to you than students who have lost their lives at school? As someone else stated, students are scared. They are scared to go to school. They are scared that they're going to be gunned down in the hallways. And that's students of Republican parents, of Democrat parents, and everyone in between. That fear that those students have has no political party whatsoever. And if you truly cared about the students, I would see you at student events. I would see you at community events. I would see you engaging with the students, interacting with the community, and being a presence. I only see that from some board members. I think we all know which one doesn't show up to those events. So to the board members that do participate in our school events, that are there for the students, that are there supporting them, supporting the things that they do, I just want to say thank you.
John Sigmund. By now, you have heard and seen how horrible this current board is, and it's ridiculous. One of the members actually clicked like on a post by a councilman cheering the death of Charlie Kirk. How can anybody cheer the death of somebody else? That person, in my opinion, should resign now. The board is also responsible for major financial irresponsibility to the tune of over $10 million. There are multiple lawsuits against the board, multiple retained law firms, overpaid accounting firms, and the field housing spending spree. We need a change now for the benefit of the kids, the school, and our city. We need everyone to come out and vote this November. No excuses. Last night at the Kirk Memorial, what I saw was 1,000 people, unity. We need that same unity this November to make a change. We need to make our schools and Stow great again. Do not re-elect any of these board members. Please consider voting for the 3 J's, John, Joanne, and Jason. We need change now.
It was 300 people, not 1,000. That's a lie.
Seeing no further comments, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
East Jenkins.
Aye.
Hurley.
Aye.
Sheehan.
Aye.
Sudonic.
Aye.
Wind.
Aye.
We adjourn at 7:46 p.m.